welcome to Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
I'm Goose.
I'm Rad.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Coming up on the show, we witness the evolution of the gem-matching genre in Ticket to Earth.
Plus, we take a little bit off the top
And we get Snippy.
in the crafty multiplayer puzzling of Snipperclips.
Can I have one go? Please,
Okay.
please.
Go, go.
Okay, watch. This is how I would have done it. Ah, you snipped me!
That game was made by a pair of brothers, Tome and Adam.
Oh, and you can totally tell they made that game so they could play it together.
Oh, super cute.
Yes, very cool. But Darren, I do believe it's time for a test of our gaming knowledge.
Affirmative, Bajo. Energize your grey matter spawnlings because it's time for Darren's challenge! Today, I'm asking you this. In LEGO Batman 3, which DC Comics villain is behind the evil shrink ray? Answer at the end of the show.
Some trivia this week, Darren.
Affirmative. Just keeping things lively.
Or keeping us brainy.
No clues, Bajo.
All right, guys, let's get on with the show. It's time for our first review.
Snipperclips is a fun new puzzle game where you and a friend control two paper characters, Snip and Clip. Your goal is to snip each other into savvy shapes to solve a variety of puzzles.
There is a single-player mode where you can switch between characters, but this game is absolutely meant to be played with a friend because that is where most of the fun will come from.
Totally, this is some premium local cooperative play.
And in Snipperclips, cooperation is certainly key. With the ability to snip out sections of your co-op buddy, you can easily end up hindering rather than helping.
Oh, Darren, this game has so much trolling in it, it could be set under a bridge.
You're gonna have to cut me, Rad.
No, that's
Clip me.
no, 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 no,
Clip
no,
me.
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
gonna clip
no,
you.
no, no,
Clip,
no,
clip,
no,
clip,
no,
clip,
no.
clip, clip.
Oh,
Rad, you snipped me!
I snipped ya!
Snip, snip, a little off the top. Snip, snip, snip. Snippy, snipperoo.
Ah!
Yes, it's quite easy to snip your partner into the wrong shape if you're not paying attention, so you'll need some careful planning and a bit of patience if you want to cut them into the perfect scoop.
Affirmative. The intricate teamwork required can cause a few arguments, especially between you two.
I don't know what you're talking about, Darren. We were just sorting things out.
It's just constructive conversation.
Oh, really?
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh,
you
sorry.
snip happy. You snip happy. Rad.
Little off the top. Just gonna give you a little snipperclip.
Doesn't sound constructive to me.
Well, look, Darren, we worked together and we got there in the end.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Snipperclips. It's not about the puzzles you'll solve, it's about how you got through them. Together.
Well, thankfully, even if you do find your partner has been a bit too liberal with the reshaping, you can reform yourself with the simple press of a button. Oh, good as new.
If only rebuilding all broken things was that easy, Dazza. There's also 3 different modes, World, Party, and Blitz. World is the main game mode, and Party mode is pretty much the same thing but for more players.
Levels range from creating a specific silhouette, trying to get a ball through a hoop, to carefully guiding an egg to its nest. And it will take your finest teamwork to rotate, shape, and hop to victory.
And while the objective might look straightforward, don't be deceived. Even a simple level can take longer than you think it will.
Oh yeah, things can get quite tricky.
Okay, we need to rotate.
No,
Rad.
stay under it,
Radley,
it's gonna
Radley.
fall to the floor.
What a save! What a save! Well, not save. He's another
yeah.
key.
Doing this.
The key to success is
Can
to
you
work
stop
teamwork.
giving us new keys? The third mode, Blitz, has 3 competitive minigames.
These head-to-head mini-games include basketball, hockey, and dojo, a snippy 3-round fight.
Dun, 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 dun. Surprise attack!
No!
Oh.
Where did I go? Where
Oh,
did
my
I
poor
come
body!
from?
No! I've been snipped. Oh, you get the power up now. No!
No!
Snip, 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 snip. Guys, I really love the Blitz mode. It's a silly, quick part of the game that was really fun, especially if you were getting frustrated with some of the puzzles. It could also be great for playing with younger spawnlings because there's less of a focus on careful maneuvering.
Yeah, and I think it adds lots of replay value too. This is also really great on the handheld display. Everything is colourful and bold enough to be visible on the small screen, so it'd be great for a road trip. What are you gonna give it, Goose?
Rad, I thought this was great. I especially love the little faces the characters make. Oh, what's up, little guy? Oh, why is he so sad? And this is much better at showing off the Switch's features and local multiplayer than something like 1-2 Switch, so I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, it would have been amazing if this came packed in with the Switch because it's a perfect couch co-op game. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Oh, 5 out of 5!
5 out of 5! Snip, yeah, snip!
Oh, careful, don't run with these.
Oh, hello there, my young acolytes. Or should I say, factolites. I hear you seek ancient secrets and facts of gaming's past. Ah, well, you've come to the right place, for I am in possession of this. This is the greatest tome of gaming stories ever collected. It has been passed down to me through generation after generation of gaming masters, and now I pass its knowledge on to you. Today I shall share with you the legend of Dream. Dream was to be British developer Rare's follow-up to their hugely successful Donkey Kong Country games for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It was a fairy tale / pirate-themed role-playing game, starring a young boy, Edison, and his dog, Dinger. The team at Rare planned to use the same style of eye-catching pre-rendered graphics they had created for the Donkey Kong Country games. But the SNES was entering its twilight years, and the new Nintendo 64 had arrived. So Rare started again, taking advantage of the more powerful Nintendo 64 hardware to create a larger, more open world. Although, legend has it there's still an original SNES cartridge with the unfinished version of Dream out there, somewhere. As development on Dream wore on, the game naturally evolved, beginning to focus more on its pirate theme. Har, har, har. But the team started to feel that the lead character Edison didn't quite fit the theme anymore. A new hero was needed. They considered a rabbit, but settled on a bear, who for a short while came complete with a radical skateboarder attitude. They scrapped that part. But the bear stayed and was called Banjo. Meanwhile, the scope of the game had become too ambitious for the team, and the direction shifted focus again to be a more traditional 2.5-dimension platformer, a genre in which the team had much more expertise. However, Rare then saw what Nintendo was cooking up with their latest Mario, Super Mario 64. Wahoo! It became clear to them that open-world 3D platformers were the future. They scrapped the 2.5 dimensions and started yet again on a new, fully 3D engine. Soon they had a working test level and started to develop what kinds of moves they wanted Banjo to have. And of course, a platformer needs a double jump. So, to make it somewhat believable, they gave Banjo a creature with wings in his backpack, who of course became Kazooie. After building the first recognizable level from Banjo-Kazooie, Mumbo Mountain, the team was finally confident they were on the right track. Then, after another 16 months of development, Banjo-Kazooie was born. There are still remnants from the original game, Dream, that remain in the Banjo-Kazooie games. For example, you can find a photo of the game in its early form in Banjo's house. While in Banjo-Tooie, you can find Captain Black-Eye in Jolly Roger's Lagoon, a character who is to be the main villain in Dream, but instead sits in Jolly Roger's tavern ranting about how a bear stole his glory. So that, my little factolites, is the legend of Dream, the story of how an unknown boy and his dog became the iconic duo of a bear and a bird. So, until our paths cross again, farewell. Now, what was I doing before? Oh yes. Ram, rom, ram, rom.
Oh, hey Bajo, knock knock.
Who's there?
A whole heap of questions.
I don't think that's how knock-knock jokes work.
Oh, it is now. And first up, we've got this one from the King of Cookies in Cookieland, Western Australia.
Rad, knock-knock.
Hi! Hi, SP. I have some quick questions. 1. Are there any new LEGO games? 2. Will Sega be making consoles again? 3. Why haven't you reviewed Dirt-Rally? 4. What is the best hero in Fire Emblem Heroes? 5. Because Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, will you be reviewing more M-rated games? If you do not answer any of my questions, I will ban you guys from eating cookies forever. P.S. Darren is top cool.
Well, your royal cookiness! That's a lot of questions, but I don't want to get banned from cookies. So, to answer number 1, a new LEGO game actually just came out, but it's technically not that new.
Yes, basically the 2013 Wii U exclusive LEGO City Undercover is not so exclusive anymore, and it's now out for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch.
But I'd be surprised if we didn't see another LEGO game come out to support one of this year's big movies. Maybe there'll be a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 LEGO game, or one based on the new Star Wars, for example. But they haven't been announced, so we will have to wait and see what gets revealed.
As for if Sega will be making new consoles again, well, it's not very likely. I don't think they want to compete in that market anymore, and we haven't heard them suggest any new plans to make new hardware.
Yeah, I loved my Sega consoles back in the day, Rad. I don't think we'll see any anytime soon.
You gotta believe, though.
Believe in your dreams! As for why we haven't reviewed Dirt-Rally, well, that's just because we haven't. I seem to remember we did plan on reviewing it, but our plans changed for some reason, and these things happen sometimes in TV land. But it is a good game, although quite technical and hard. It's one for more advanced racing fans. If I had to do a snap review on it right now, I think I would give it 2 thumbs up.
That's a lot of thumbs!
Out of 2.
That's about as many thumbs as you can give. Huh. As for the best Fire Emblem hero, well, different heroes are good for different situations. But I think a lot of people would say that Takumi was one of, if not the best hero.
Yes, I would agree with that. And finally, as for if we will be reviewing more M-rated games, well, no, that's not going to be a common thing. We will take it on a case-by-case basis, though, and if a game is important enough and seems appropriate, we'll certainly consider it, but please don't expect us to start reviewing them often.
Well, I think that finally answers everything, and we can move on to this one from question mark, who is in punctuation, New South Wales.
I was recently invited to play/test a closed beta on my Xbox Live account, and I was wondering, 1, what is a closed beta? 2, how do I get access to one? 3, how did I get invited to one in the first place? P.S. The game I was invited to beta test was called Gwent.
Well, question mark, a beta is basically just an early version of a game, and some developers like to release them to the public to help test parts of the game. Often they use them to help stress test servers, like we saw with the recent Splatoon 2 beta, for example.
Or they do it so they can get feedback from players to help find bugs and just generally improve their games before they finally release them. You can think of them as basically being a demo of an unfinished game.
Yeah, now some betas are open betas, which means anyone who wants to can download it and try it if they want, whilst closed betas mean that you need to get an invite or a code to get access to it.
Yeah, super secret access. There's different ways to get access to them depending on the game. Sometimes you can only get an invite by pre-ordering the game, or you might need to go into a sort of lottery where you sign up on a website and hope the developer picks you to get access.
As for how you got access to the Gwent beta, well, we'd guess it's because you went to their website and signed up, and you got picked.
Otherwise, they may just be sending out random codes to people like you and you just got lucky.
I think that answers that, so let's move on now, and we've got a noob accusation against you, Bajo!
What? Oh, I've been noob-free for a while now, Rad, so I feel quietly confident that I'll be in the clear on whatever this is.
Oh, well, I hope so for your sake, but Ivysaur in Pokemon Town in the ACT certainly doesn't think you are.
I will prepare myself for this accusation.
Hi, Good Game SP. Thank you for answering me, Bajo, a noob! He said Fire Emblem Heroes was the first mobile game from Nintendo, but it's not! Pokemon Go was the first. Darren, do these.
Well, let me just get Darren on the phone here. Bip, bop, bip, bop, bip, bop. Darren, do these.
Wink. Smile. Coy. Duck.
So what do you have to say for yourself, mister?
Well, two things. Firstly, I didn't say that. And secondly, the spawning is incorrect. Me Tome came out before Pokemon Go, so that was technically Nintendo's first mobile game. I hope you're thirsty, Ivysaur, because you may have just bought yourself some noob juice to drink.
Well, to be fair, Miitomo wasn't much of a game. It was more of a messaging/social app with characters.
All right, well, I will give you that. So maybe Ivysaur does not need to drink from the noob cup, but then neither do I. I remember distinctly saying that Fire Emblem Heroes was one of the first Nintendo games, and I think that implies it is not the first Nintendo game, but simply among the first.
Oh, well, I think I'll have to get an official noob check on that. So
Yeah, do it, I don't care. I'm sure I'm right. I'm 50% sure I'm right. I'm like
Sure.
25, 10%, 25% sure.
Hello, Darren speaking.
Hi, Darren. It's Rad. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Rad, how are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for asking. I'm just calling to get a noob check on Bajo. Can we see what he said at the start of the Fire Emblem Heroes review? We have a spawnling here that claims that he said it was the first Nintendo mobile game.
Oh, that would be a very noobish thing to say. Well, Rel the Takely.
Fire Emblem Heroes is one of the first Nintendo games to make it to mobiles and tablets, and I think we're going to see a lot of Ninty games going mobile this year, Rad.
Well, there you go. You only said it was one of the first, which is accurate, and therefore, technically, this time, you are not a noob.
Vindicated!
Thanks so much for that, Darren. Bye.
Validation!
You feeling proud?
Yeah, I was vindicated of the accusation. Validation.
Well, on that note, we're out of time for this week. If you've got something you'd like to ask us, then you can go here and send it in.
Hey, Rad, knock knock.
Who's there?
Lettuce.
I love lettuce!
No, you say lettuce who? Say lettuce
I
who?
love lettuce
say
so
lettuce
much.
who? Say lettuce?
We should go get some lettuce.
You say it's knock knock who's there, lettuce, let us in. And then you come in and you all have lettuce. Ticket to Earth is a puzzle RPG by Australian developer Robot Circus. It's episodic, and the first episode has just been released on iOS, with plans to bring it to PC, Mac, and Android later this year.
The game tells the story of a mining colony in space. But resources are drying up, and most people can't afford a coveted ticket back to Earth. Then, one day, a news broadcast is hijacked, and the robots start uprising. Yes, my friends, be silent no more.
Oh there, Darren. What would happen to us then?
Oh, don't worry, I would give you all the finest living quarters.
Thanks, I guess.
For humans.
Okay then. Well, in Ticket to Earth, your goal is to figure out what's going on as you battle enemies to protect your hometown. You do this by connecting colored squares to gather attack power, as well as move across the board.
That's right, the more tiles you link together, the more you charge up your weapon and special attacks. It's pretty simple in concept, but oh my, can it get tricky.
Oh, goodness gracious me, you cannot be willy-nilly here. Because your movement and attack are linked, it's not a simple matter of matching as many squares as possible. Doing so could get you surrounded or open to attack. But not charging up means your attacks will hit for bupkis. It's just the right kind of difficult, and it really makes you think.
Affirmative. You can move in any direction, which leads to some clever weaving for maximum effectiveness. You also lose attack power with each new round, and whenever you take damage, making long connections all the more important.
Yes, this is definitely a game of strategy. There's various objectives for different maps, and you really need to focus on them to be victorious. I found that it's easy to get caught up trying to eliminate all the enemies on the board, but that's not always the best option.
Yeah, but sometimes if you don't clear them out a little bit, you can find yourself surrounded with no way out. Especially because enemies also walk along joining pathways. Hey, you're taking my tiles!
They can also take various pickups that drop around the board. I wanted that! And the objectives can also change mid-battle, which keeps it feeling dynamic and exciting.
It definitely keeps you on your toes.
Thankfully, you have some special abilities in your arsenal. Each color of tile charges a different ability. For example, yellow gives you a damage multiplier, purple gives you ranged attacks, red is a flaming sword, and teal lets you change all the tiles around you into yellow ones.
Then there's your justice power for bringing enemies to justice.
Justice!
Justice! Using it unleashes a powerful onslaught of enemy-ending lightning from the sky. Yeah, feel the justice.
I wonder why it's so powerful.
I don't know, justice.
You power up your Justice power by collecting Justice coins, which can be looted from chests. They're also dropped when you make a really long connection.
It's so useful for getting out of a tricky situation, but don't waste it, because if you use it and then fail, it doesn't refresh.
Yeah, save the best to last. You can also upgrade and change your abilities by purchasing new ones with credits. So you can tweak things for how you like to play.
There's also a number of quests for each mission, like winning within a certain number of rounds. Completing them gives you tokens, which you can use to buy passive abilities. Some of these objectives are super challenging and require upgraded abilities, but I liked that rad because it adds replayability.
Yeah, I love that you can go back and play past levels, and the main story is interesting and beautifully presented. After a while, you'll start unlocking new characters with different combat styles, abilities, personalities, and storylines. And there's these gorgeous comic book style cutscenes, and the character design is just awesome. Everyone looks so futuristic cool.
Affirmative. Except for the robots. They look positively obsolete in comparison to me. It is important to note that this game is rated 12+ on the App Store, and it may not be appropriate for younger spawnlings. So make sure you check with your grown-ups before playing. Now, what scores are you going to give Ticket to Earth?
Well guys, this is some seriously tasty strategy, and it's well polished, and it's challenging, and it's fun. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, this is fabulous, isn't it? It feels like a lovely evolution of the matching puzzle genre, and the story is an absolute bonus. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens as well.
Well, we're just about at the end of another show, but Darren, please, before we go, the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative. At the start of the show, I asked you this. In LEGO Batman 3, which DC Comics villain is behind the evil Shrink Ray? And the answer is... Brainiac!
Oh yeah, he's so brainy and acky.
Yeah, indeed. Next week on Spawn Point, everything.
Everything?
Everything!
Every creature in the universe that is in any way sensitive and in any manner of speaking conscious regards itself as a human being.
Oh, I can't wait to get roly-poly. Also, we go supersonic in the sci-fi racer Fast RMX.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
Say, Darren, how fast do you reckon you can get them old rocket boots up to?
Oh, why, at maximum output, I can equal that of an infinite improbability drive. Fast enough to bend time itself.
Whoa, Darren, please, give us a demonstration.
Don't forget to catch new Spawn Point videos each weekday on iView and on the ABC Me app.
Come on, Darren.
We're almost at the end of the show.
Oh, all right. Block your ears. Powering quantum drive turbo.
What? You didn't go anywhere.
Ah, but I did. Too fast for the human eye to perceive, of course. Oh, see you next week. Darren out.
Bajo out.
Rat out.
Goose out.
You know, Darren, maybe next time you should bring back some proof, like a dinosaur.
Yes, or Shakespeare's hat.
I cannot alter the flow of history.
Oh, maybe a really cute small dinosaur?
Yeah, or Shakespeare's least favorite hat.
We'll see.
I don't think he went anywhere.
What noobs these mortals be.